In today's world, many men struggle to understand what truly attracts women. We're often told it's about looks, wealth, or saying the right things. But what if the secret to winning her heart lies not in impressing her, but in mastering ourselves? This video dives into the timeless principles of Stoicism and shows how self-mastery, emotional strength, and authentic presence are what truly make a man attractive. Forget about pick-up lines and flashy gestures. Here, you'll discover how to cultivate the inner qualities that naturally draw women in. Ready to learn the Stoic approach to lasting attraction? Let's get started. 1. Stop chasing. Start attracting. I used to think that getting someone's attention meant going above and beyond. Flowers, fancy dinners, trying to impress her with everything I did. But over time, I realized that the more I chased, the less I attracted. The harder I tried to show I was the perfect guy, the less interested she became. It was confusing and frustrating because I thought I was doing everything right. But the problem wasn't what I was doing, it was why I was doing it. When I finally understood that confidence isn't about chasing, but about standing still and letting others come to you, things changed. I stopped focusing on her reactions and started focusing on being happy with myself, regardless of anyone else's opinions. It was liberating. I noticed people, not just women, started responding to me differently. I didn't need to constantly try to please them. The more grounded and comfortable I became with myself, the more naturally attractive I felt, and that drew others in. Now, when I meet someone I like, I no longer obsess over winning her. I show interest, yes, but I don't need to force it. I don't need to impress her every second. I'm happy just being myself. It's amazing to see how this simple shift, from chasing to attracting, has changed my relationships. The energy is different. I feel more at ease, more present, and ultimately much more attractive. And the best part? I'm not losing myself trying to gain someone else's approval. 2. The power of consistency and reliability. One thing I've learned in life is that words are only half the story. Actions, especially consistent actions, are what truly define who we are. When I started being more intentional with reliability, everything changed. I used to be the guy who would say, "I'll be there," and then if something more exciting came up, I'd bail or arrive late. But over time, I realized that this wasn't just annoying to others. It made me feel disconnected and untrustworthy. Becoming reliable isn't just about being dependable for others. It's about developing personal integrity. When I say I'll do something, I follow through, no matter how small or large the commitment. This includes little things like being on time, following up on conversations, or even just being present when I'm with someone. Consistency shows that I care, and it builds trust in a way that words alone never could. What surprised me most was the impact it had on my relationships. People appreciate dependability more than grand gestures, I found. Whether it's friends, family, or a romantic partner, showing up when you say you will, keeping promises and being the same person each time they see you, strengthens bonds more than any big moment ever could. And ultimately, I feel better about myself, because I know I'm being true to my word. Consistency isn't flashy, but it speaks volumes. Being reliable is a subtle yet powerful way to show someone they can count on me, and there's a deep sense of pride in that. 3. Self-mastery over external impressing. There was a time when I thought that if I looked right, acted right, and said the perfect things, people would be impressed, and I'd feel better about myself. but trying to keep up with external expectations left me exhausted and frustrated. It was like constantly performing, and no matter how well I played the part, I didn't feel fulfilled or genuinely happy. This approach wasn't working because it was all about the outside, trying to change what others thought of me without addressing how I felt about myself. When I discovered Stoic philosophy, everything changed. I started shifting my focus from controlling others' perceptions to controlling my own thoughts and reactions. The biggest lesson: true confidence comes from mastering myself, not from trying to impress anyone else. As I became more centered, I noticed that people began to respond differently. They were drawn to the calm and confidence I projected naturally. Self-mastery has freed me from needing validation from others. I stopped worrying about impressing anyone and started working on being the best version of myself. Now, I don't need anyone's approval to feel good about who I am, and that inner peace is something others naturally notice. It turns out, the less I cared about impressing others, the more they seemed impressed with me. It's ironic, but true. When you master yourself, you gain a quiet confidence that makes an impression far deeper than any flashy gesture ever could. 4. Use authentic compliments and gestures. I used to think compliments were all about saying someone looked good or paying attention to obvious qualities, but I quickly realized this was superficial and had little impact. Most people can see right through a hollow compliment. It's easy to say, "You look great," or "You're so beautiful," but these statements are often so overused that they hardly feel special anymore. That's when I began paying attention to more meaningful details. When I meet someone I'm interested in, I focus on who they are rather than just how they look. If she's passionate about her job or a hobby, I let her know that I respect her dedication or admire her intelligence. This shift has made conversations feel richer, and people genuinely appreciate that I notice things about them beyond the surface. One of my favorite ways to connect is to remember small details. If she mentions a favorite author or something she's going through, I'll bring it up later, maybe even surprise her with a book or ask her how things are going. These small gestures go a long way because they show I'm actually listening and that I care. There's no need for grand gestures or over-the-top compliments. Authenticity and attentiveness have become my superpowers in relationships, allowing me to connect with people on a deeper level. I find this approach more fulfilling, and it often leaves a lasting impression that superficial flattery never could. 5. Handle rejection calmly. No one enjoys rejection, and for the longest time, I struggled with it. I'd overthink every little interaction, wondering what I did wrong or what I could have done differently. But then I realized that taking rejection personally was only holding me back. Stoicism taught me a different approach, to see rejection as a part of life that I don't have to take personally. When I started seeing rejection through this lens, I felt liberated. I realized I couldn't control how others felt or responded. All I could control was how I reacted. So, instead of obsessing over why someone wasn't interested, I began focusing on what I learned from each experience and how I could grow. Rejection no longer felt like a failure. It became an opportunity to build resilience and self-awareness. Now, if things don't go my way, or if someone isn't interested, I stay calm and composed. This mindset has made me more confident and less afraid to put myself out there. Ironically, handling rejection gracefully has made me more attractive because I don't let disappointment control me. I'm not desperate or anxious. I'm just focused on being my best self, and that calm confidence, It's something people notice. Stoicism has taught me to see rejection as just another experience, not a measure of my worth, and that has been life-changing. 6. Emotional detachment for inner peace. There was a time when I was overly attached to outcomes, especially in relationships. I'd get anxious over every little thing, a delayed text or an uncertain answer, and let it affect my mood and self-esteem. But this wasn't sustainable, and it definitely wasn't making me happy. That's when I discovered the power of emotional detachment, a concept that's central to Stoicism. Emotional detachment doesn't mean being cold or indifferent. For me, it means not letting my happiness hinge on someone else's actions. If someone likes me or doesn't, I'm okay either way, because my self-worth isn't tied to their validation. This shift has brought me a sense of inner peace that's incredibly freeing. I can enjoy people's company without the need for reassurance, and I can let go when things aren't meant to be without feeling devastated. Now, I'm more present and authentic in relationships because I'm not anxiously waiting for someone else's validation. This approach has allowed me to enjoy relationships for what they are, without needing them to be something they're not. Emotional detachment isn't about giving up on love or connection. It's about finding peace within myself, so I can be genuinely open to others without fear or desperation. This mindset not only brings calm to my life, but makes me more appealing because I'm not weighed down by expectations. 7. Apply Stoicism. When I first encountered Stoicism, I was a bit skeptical. How could an ancient philosophy help me with modern-day relationships? But as I started to understand the core principles, focusing on what I can control and letting go of what I can't, I saw its transformative power. It taught me that real strength comes from within, not from external validation. Now, I don't get rattled by little things that once bothered me. If someone cancels a plan or doesn't respond to my message right away, I'm fine, because I've learned to control my own reactions. This mindset shift has made me calmer and more resilient. I don't need constant reassurance from others because I'm confident in myself. Stoicism has become a grounding force in my life, allowing me to stay balanced even when things get chaotic. I'm not chasing after anyone's approval, and I'm not bending over backward to make things work. Instead, I'm present, stable, and genuinely content. This has not only improved my relationships, but has also given me a peace of mind that I never had before. Stoicism isn't just a philosophy, it's a way of living that helps me show up as my best self in every situation. 8. Strong body language. One day, I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror, and it hit me. My body language was saying something entirely different from what I wanted to project. I realized I was often slouched, fidgeting, or avoiding eye contact when I was nervous. That's when I decided to focus on my body language, because I wanted to project confidence, not insecurity. Now, whenever I enter a room, I take a moment to stand tall, relax my shoulders, and make eye contact. I've learned that body language is a huge part of how others perceive us. Even when I'm not feeling super confident, I can control how I present myself physically. Holding eye contact and moving deliberately has a powerful effect. It not only makes me feel more in control, but also makes others view me as confident and self-assured. Mastering my body language has improved my self-confidence immensely. I no longer feel like I'm trying to hide or make myself smaller. Instead, I own my space, and that subtle shift in posture and eye contact speaks volumes. I've realized that confidence isn't just about what you say. It's about how you show up in every moment. Body language is a silent yet powerful communicator, and now I use it to convey calm strength. 9. Focus on personal growth and purpose. I used to think relationships were the ultimate goal, the thing that would make me feel complete. But over time, I realized that true fulfillment comes from within, from personal growth and having a clear sense of purpose. Now, I invest my energy into becoming the best version of myself, and this has changed everything. Pursuing my interests, working on my goals, and building a life I'm proud of have given me a sense of purpose and direction that I used to seek from others. And the surprising thing, this focus on personal growth has made me more attractive to others because people are naturally drawn to someone who's passionate and driven. I'm no longer seeking validation through relationships. Instead, I'm inviting people into a life that's already fulfilling. Having a purpose gives me a sense of stability that allows me to approach relationships differently. I'm not looking for someone to complete me because I'm already whole. I've realized that the best relationships come from two people who are already content with themselves, and that's exactly the kind of relationship I now attract. Personal growth isn't just about bettering myself, it's about creating a life that others want to be part of. 10. Be true to yourself. In my early dating days, I spent a lot of time trying to be who I thought others wanted me to be. I'd change my style, my interests, even my opinions just to fit in or make someone like me more. But pretending to be someone else left me feeling disconnected and frustrated because I wasn't being true to myself. Eventually, I realized that authenticity is more powerful than any facade. Being true to myself means embracing who I am, my strengths, my quirks, even my flaws. I've learned that the right person will appreciate me for who I am, not who I pretend to be. Now, instead of trying to mold myself into someone else's idea of perfect, I focus on being the best version of my true self. Staying true to myself has been empowering. I don't feel pressured to act a certain way, and I no longer stress about whether someone likes me. I know that I'm enough as I am, and that sense of self-worth shines through. Authenticity is magnetic. When you're genuinely yourself, you attract people who appreciate you. Being true to myself has not only improved my relationships, but has also brought me peace. After all, the most important relationship I have is with myself. In closing, remember that the key to real attraction isn't about gimmicks or playing games. It's about building a strong foundation within yourself. By embracing Stoic principles, mastering your emotions, and showing up authentically, you'll naturally become the kind of person others are drawn to. When you invest in becoming the best version of yourself, the right people will be drawn to you without effort. If you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more insights on relationships and self-mastery. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective on how Stoicism has impacted your journey. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.